Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and the new edition of our online interview sessions here. And we want to talk to Vizsla Silver for a short update with Michael Konnert, the CEO. How are you, Michael? Good morning to Canada.
Hey, good morning. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. We have spoken in the last months several times because you have so many news releases, Jesus Christ. But the drills are turning, and I think you are doing this year again, 140,000 meters. And it feels to me a little bit like that you are hitting all the time, because you had the last one I saw was 1,011 grams of silver equivalent over 12.5 meters. I mean, that is really a lot, right?
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's high grade mineralization at your Copala structure. And it turns to me out, I mean, I remember the first time you were mentioning Copala that you are drilling. It looks to me like that you hit a jackpot.
It's very special. It's unlike anything that I've seen discovered in Mexico or really anywhere in a very long time. These are the type of things that the old timers in Mexico, 200, 300, 400 years would find, and then they would mine it out. But for us to find a preserved structure like Copala that has this type of grade, that it's totally open still, but it's over it's a kilometer in strike and it's 400 meters down dip. It's really something special, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I believe that. So how many more holes, or let's say how many more meters you want to drill into that V now with that program? And when can we expect then really your next resource update with that, including that?
Yeah, so even just to give a little bit of background to Copala, we put, I believe it was 8 holes into Copala by the end of last year. And those 8 holes made it into the resource that we put out in March. That resource was a combined 106 million ounces of silver equivalent in indicated and inferred categories combined. Those 8 drill holes contributed 24% of the resource, so just about 26 million ounces there into the March resource. So really, from 8 holes into that amount of contribution to the overall resource, Copala was already something special in that sense, because it's not every day that you find something that can add ounces that quickly. So, if you think about the average vein system in Mexico that, the companies are mining, you think about your kind of mid-tier or smaller miners in Mexico, oftentimes they'll be mining veins that are 1 meter to 1.5 meters, maybe 2 meters if they're lucky. Mm-hmm. Napoleon and Tajitos are other structures in the district where we have resources. Napoleon is 3.5 meters on average, and Tajitos is 3 meters on average. So already, basically 2 to 3 times the average thickness of structures in Mexico. Now, Napoleon is about 3 times those already. So, never mind the grade, but just, the high grade. But think about that type of structure from a mining point of view. Allows you to have a higher throughput, which means you can have a larger milling facility. But we're hitting grades in Copala that are spectacular. Like you said, a kilo over 12.5 meters. But in that, we had 5.6 kilos over 1.26 meter, 5.5 kilos over 3.28 meters. So just, think about that. You're underground mining this very thick structure. For the Americans, that's 30 feet. So I think it's almost helpful to think about it in feet, but you think about the structure that's, that large. And then you have these pulses of high grade that, can be very, very profitable. So, Copala already has impressed us, astounded us, but, it's open as well too. It's open to the east down dip, and it's open north and south. So we're still drilling it. It's still growing. I told this story the other day, but Mexico's famous for big systems, Fresnillo, systems in Durango and all over the place in Mexico, and these large systems have built long-term, multi-100-year producing silver mines, really, precious metals mines. But, the history of Copala is quite interesting, because there was a discoverer named Francisco de Ibarra who made his way basically from the center of Mexico to the Pacific coast in the 1500s. And he discovered the city of Durango, which is, a silver district and a silver city. He went from Durango to Fresnillo, discovered Fresnillo, the silver fields there. And, the final field that he discovered was Copala Panuco. And he actually ended up passing away in the Panuco district by the age of 35, I believe, or 34. And having discovered multiple silver districts, but this was the last one. So it's interesting to me. Of course, that's just an anecdote, but I think there's the potential here of Panuco being one of these very significant, long-lived, multiple phases of mineralizing events here. A very serious silver district, going forward, and so. When we see these type of grades, the high pulses of silver, high grades of gold, I think that it's quite likely that we're going to find many other structures like this out there in this district.
Okay, super. To what depths is that going normally?
So Copala goes down. It starts about 50 meters from surface, and it has a relatively gentle dip to the east, and that goes probably the deepest that the gently dipping area goes is maybe 250 meters from surface, and then it increases its angle to the east as well, and has a more steeper dip, and that goes, I believe, as deep as maybe 350, 400 meters, and it's still open down dip. But of course, we absolutely want to bring this to production here. Vizsla, from the beginning, we built a team that was capable of moving this through to production, and our COO Marty Dupuy, he's had experience in Mexico with Pan America's mines. Our group on the ground there, a lot of them have come from Agnico, Capstone, other producers in Mexico. And our view has always been that we can control the things that we can control, and our plan is to move this forward into production. We're not waiting around for someone to come take us over, because I don't think that's a good use of shareholder dollars and time. When you have something like this that has these super high grades and relatively easy mining structures, we're in a position that many other companies would be envious of. So, it makes a lot of sense for us to move this forward, I believe. And to that note, for over the last year, we've been doing hydrological studies, we've been doing geotechnical studies, the birds and the bees studies, the flora and fauna, all these things that feed into kind of, those are the softer things that feed into a PEA. At the same time, we've been doing metallurgical testing. We've been looking at where do we put the plant, how do we scope that, what's the right way of sequencing the structures that we have into a mining scenario. What's the kind of ultimate throughput that we can put here? How do we start it off? Do we phase it? Do we build it all at once? So we have very active conversations and scoping studies ongoing in the background, internal scoping studies, of course. But our view is that we're absolutely going to make this a very large producer. It's always been our vision to be a very large producer of silver and gold.
So that means plus 10 million ounces silver equivalent per year.
That our vision has always been a minimum of 12. Yeah.
Okay, super. You said metallurgy. I think this is one of the absolute key drivers when you want to go in production, because it is beautiful when you have fantastic grades, but if you cannot release it gently from the ore, then you are having a problem, right? So what have you seen so far with the metallurgical tests? Are you satisfied?
We've tested Napoleon. We've had excellent recoveries, 93% for silver, over 90% for gold. What's interesting is that gold has, I believe it's a 40%. I'd have to go back and to be absolutely certain of a press release that we put out on Napoleon, but I believe the gravity recovery, so early in the flow sheet recovery on gold, is about 40%. But they were able to be very productive here at the Panuco Copala district. So it's not necessarily surprising that we have good metallurgy, but it was nice to confirm that with the studies. And we'll have more metallurgical results on Copala and Tajitos coming shortly, I would say.
Okay, super. How much cash is in the bank still?
So we have about 15 million in the bank right now.
50 or 15?
15.
15, and that's enough to finish that all.
Yeah, it's enough to finish the year off here. You know, I think, you know, of course, the company will have to finance it at some point in the future, but I think we'll surprise people by how exactly we do that. You know, we're probably best way to say it is that we have a number of different options on the table for how we do that.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure dilution will be done by a minimum because you guys have also a lot of shares, right?
Yeah, if you look at our SEDI filing, myself, our VP of Exploration, the COO, we've all been buying stock here while we can. First of all, because we think it's a steal.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. But also, you know, just to reaffirm that we're shareholders and, you know, we're allergic to dilution.
Me too, absolutely. As I'm a shareholder too of your company, I'm also allergic. Last question, maybe a short statement to the silver market, silver price. What do you think as a hopefully future producer?
Well, you know, maybe even to set the stage, you know, we bought the project at $15 silver. That's when we entered into the original agreement to option and then buy the project. So, you know, already we're at an increase to that. So we're winning, I suppose. But you know, silver can be a bit frustrating at times if you're watching it day to day, and you know, it's been proven, I suppose, that you know, JP Morgan, I think, has been prosecuted for manipulating the silver price. So we know that element certainly exists. But you know, sometimes markets can be bigger than manipulation. I think it's proven itself in the past, and so you know, what I see and what I focus on is the fundamentals of the metal, and you know, I think about supply. I think about byproduct of you know, silver as a byproduct of other mines in the world, like copper mines in South America, big long life copper porphyries that are getting deeper and lower grade in Chile and Peru. So, you know, I think about that kind of byproduct supply dropping off. I think about demand. I think about, you know, electric vehicles and the solar panels. And, you know, I often think about, you know, how silver fits into the electrification theme of the world. And very simply, you know, electrification doesn't exist without silver. So, you know, the best way to profit from that is to be invested in these equities now. You know, you can't wait for that move to happen, unfortunately, because oftentimes it's too late when it does. But we've also got gold in this company too. But we're beneficiaries of both electrification and the safe haven investment themes of precious metals. So you know, I'm quite content with you know, the situation we're in, because I'm also confident that you know, the Panuco district is one that can operate at really any price level, most price levels. So I'm optimistic about the future.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at the AISC in the industry a little bit, all of the big guys, they are between what, $18 to probably $20. Mm-hmm. So that's the market price, right? Yeah. And I mean, everybody's having the same problem. So if the price is not moving, there will be no new mines. Very simple. But it looks to me like your project will be still economic at $20. That's what I get from your grades, honestly. Yeah, I really can imagine.
You know, time of course will tell on the economic studies, but we're, you know, from early indications and what we look at, you know, internally, we're obviously moving forward at a pretty aggressive rate, and I think that should tell everybody everything they need to know about our view on the project.
Super. Perfect. Michael, thank you very much for the update. Great to see, and congratulations again to your fantastic drill results. Really, appreciate it. I'm really excited. And keep it going, I would say. And as you said, there will be news out very soon here. I suspect also on the drilling, the metallurgy you said. And then we will see by year end latest your resource update. And I hope for plus 200 million ounces. That would be lovely. Okay. Thank you very much. All the best to Canada. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Konnert, the CEO of Vizsla Silver. You heard it. Fantastic drill results, outstanding results. And Copala is like a jackpot win, I would call it. They really, found the silver gold hotspot here on their property. And also they are doing already very, necessary studies to bring that hopefully soon, or not soon, but let's say within the next 2 to 3 years into production. The stock price is, as a lot of other companies, a nightmare, but great for us to buy cheap, which is also the management doing. So insiders are buying here also. I'm also a shareholder of the company.